There are places in Japan you'll never find on a map. Places where trains stop, but should not exist. A platform where the lights flicker like dying stars, where the silence is suffocating, and where the path beyond leads only into black hills and endless night. Some say if you board the wrong train at the wrong time, you will arrive at such a place, a station called Kisaragi, and once you step onto its platform, you will never return. It begins with something ordinary, a late-night train home. The carriage is nearly empty, humming with fluorescent lights that seem too bright against the darkness outside. Passengers sit slumped in their seats, absorbed in silence, their reflections faintly mirrored in the black windows. But the minutes stretch on. What should have been a 20-minute ride bleeds into 30, then 40. The familiar city skyline vanishes. Neon lights and concrete melt into long, unbroken tunnels and landscapes no one recognizes. Forests pass by where no forests should be. Hills loom against the horizon with no towns, no roads, no sign of life. Station names are announced through the speakers, but they're unfamiliar, syllables that match no recorded stop, no place listed on any timetable. They sound wrong, distorted, almost dreamlike. A heavy stillness fills the air, the kind of silence that makes every creak of the train seem louder, every breath unnatural. It's as if the ride itself has slipped from the world people know into something else, something that should not exist. When the train finally slows, the screech of the brakes is deafening. The doors slide open, and beyond them lies a station no one has ever found on a map, Kisaragi. The sign is faded, cracked, as if it has been there for decades, though no record of it exists. The platform is deserted, bathed in pale fluorescent light that flickers and hums like dying insects. Moths swarm the bulbs. The concrete stretches into shadow. There are no staff, no ticket machines, no posted maps or schedules, only silence. Step off the train and the doors close behind you. The cars roll away into the night, vanishing into the dark. The sound of the wheels fades, leaving nothing behind. No train, no way back. Beyond the platform, a narrow road disappears into the foothills. It is here that the accounts always turn disturbing. The sound of a bell echoes faintly across the hills, hollow and out of place. And with it comes the sensation of being watched. Shadows shifting just beyond the glow of the platform lights. Footsteps that seem to match your own. Those who claim to have reached Kisaragi describe the same path. The road winds into the hills, bordered by woods that seem to breathe with the night. The air grows colder, heavier, the bell tolling louder as if luring travelers deeper. Figures move in the periphery, human silhouettes, distorted and incomplete. Some accounts mention voices drifting from the trees, warped and distant, as though bleeding in from another world. The watchers never come close, but they never leave either. The stories always end the same way. Online posts trailing off mid-sentence, real-time updates that stop suddenly, leaving only silence, no return, no explanation, just absence. Some dismiss it as a modern hoax, a creepypasta that got out of control. Others believe Kisaragi is older, rooted in the same Japanese folklore that speaks of cursed crossroads and phantom towns, places that exist between worlds, appearing only to those fated never to leave. Whatever the truth, the warning remains. If your train ride lasts too long, if the station names sound wrong, if the air grows heavy and unreal, do not step off when the doors open. Because once the sign above the platform reads, Kisaragi, you've already gone too far. Our first tale brought us to a station that should not exist. But our second story is different. This one doesn't take place in the outside world at all. It hides inside a piece of writing. A simple poem printed in a book, passed down in whispers. They call it Tomino's Hell. And they say reading it aloud is enough to bring disaster or even death. The poem first appeared in a 1919 collection by a Japanese writer named Yamota Inuhiko. Its verses are strange and unsettling, fragmented images of suffering, punishment, and wandering through the underworld. On the surface, it reads like surreal symbolism, but in Japan, whispers soon spread that the words themselves carried a curse. The legend claims the poem describes a young boy named Tomino who dies and descends into hell. Each stanza outlines his torment, his passage through layer after layer of punishment. Some say the imagery mirrors Buddhist depictions of the underworld. Others claim it is something darker, an attempt to capture the unexplainable visions of the damned. Over time, the poem's reputation grew. Those who read it silently reported an uneasiness, a heaviness in the room, but those who dared to speak it aloud claimed worse: misfortune, illness, accidents, even sudden deaths. The warning spread. Tomino's hell should never be read with your voice. By the late 20th century, Tomino's hell had taken on a life of its own in Japan's growing world of urban legends. Stories circulated of students who read the poem aloud in classrooms, only to be stricken with sudden fevers or accidents in the days that followed. Accounts emerged of readers collapsing, struck with unexplainable sickness, or worse, dying soon after reciting its lines. The curse became so widespread that public readings were discouraged. Libraries noted the odd demand for the book, but the reluctance to handle it. In the early internet age, forums were filled with warnings against sharing the text, yet curiosity always lingered. People dared one another to recite it, chasing proof of the curse. Videos appeared online, grainy, distorted recordings of voices reading the stanzas aloud. Many of these uploads ended abruptly, cut off mid-verse. Comment sections filled with ominous messages. Viewers claiming their devices malfunctioned, that their rooms grew cold, that they heard whispers while listening. Whether coincidence or something more, the poem's reputation as a forbidden artifact of literature has only deepened. The words themselves are unsettling, not just for what they describe, but for how they feel. Fragmented, dreamlike, more like a nightmare translated onto paper. Tomino falls into darkness. He suffers punishments without explanation. He wanders through an underworld where his cries are never answered. Readers claim the imagery clings to them, lodging in the mind like a parasite. Some insist the curse comes not from the words themselves, but from the act of giving them breath. By speaking the verses aloud, you invite the same descent, calling Tomino's suffering into your own life. Skeptics dismiss it as coincidence, a blend of suggestion and fear magnified through folklore. But even skeptics admit something unsettling. The legend has endured for more than a century. The warnings have never stopped, and so the caution remains. The text can be read in silence, studied on the page, but the moment your voice gives it life, you risk stepping into Tomino's hell yourself, following him down into a place from which no one returns unchanged. Some poems are meant to be read. This one is meant to be feared. Our final legend takes us deep into the woods of Japan, to a place so infamous it has earned a name whispered with fear around the world. A forest at the base of Mount Fuji, where compasses spin, silence swallows sound, and travelers vanish without trace. Some call it simply Aokigahara, others call it the Suicide Forest. Aokigahara lies on the northwestern base of Mount Fuji, a sea of dense trees stretching for miles. The forest floor is tangled with gnarled roots, hardened by centuries of volcanic rock. Sunlight struggles to penetrate the canopy, leaving the ground in a dim twilight even at midday. Step inside, and the world outside vanishes. The sound of the wind, the hum of the city, even the distant murmur of life, it all falls away. The silence here is suffocating. Travelers describe it as oppressive, like walking into a place designed to erase human presence. Compasses are said to malfunction within its depths, spinning wildly, refusing to point north. Trails twist and vanish among the trees, and the deeper one goes, the more the forest seems to fold in on itself. Many who wander too far never find their way back. For centuries, Aokigahara has been linked with death. Folklore describes it as a place haunted by yurei, restless spirits bound by grief and rage. In ancient times, it was rumored to be a site of ubasut, the abandonment of the elderly in desperate famine years. Whether truth or legend, the association with death has lingered. In the modern era, the forest gained its reputation for something far darker. Aokigahara became a site where many chose to end their lives. Even today, signs are posted near the entrances, urging visitors to turn back, to think of their families, to seek help. But the reputation has only deepened. Explorers report coming across belongings scattered through the trees, shoes, wallets, tents, ropes, markers left by those who entered but never returned. Some objects are faded and weathered, others disturbingly recent. Each one tells a silent story, abandoned mid-sentence, of lives cut short among the roots. The forest does not hide these tragedies. It absorbs them, leaving the air heavy with sorrow, the silence deeper than before. Those who walk its paths speak of strange sensations, the feeling of being watched, figures glimpsed between the trees that vanish when approached, whispers carried on air that should be still. Some explorers follow tape lines left behind by past visitors, only to find the tape cut, or leading them in circles until they're back where they started. Locals insist the forest is alive with the presence of the dead, yurei, whose anger and despair cling to the living. White figures reported moving soundlessly through the trees, distant cries that never draw nearer, never fade away. Travelers who enter alone sometimes describe a growing compulsion to go deeper, as if the forest itself is pulling them in. Whether these are hauntings, tricks of the mind, or something older woven into the roots of the land, no one can say. But the truth is undeniable. Aokigahara is a place where death lingers, where sorrow seeps into the soil, where silence is more terrifying than sound. And once you step into its depths, you may discover the forest doesn't want you to leave. Some places hold the living, others keep the dead. And in Aokigahara, the line between the two has already been erased, from the phantom trains of Kisaragi Station, to the cursed verses of Tomino's Hell, to the haunted silence of Aokigahara Forest. Japan's legends remind us that fear doesn't only live in myths. It lingers in the stations we ride through, the words we read, and the forests that wait just beyond the city lights. If you enjoyed tonight's descent into these darker corners of Japan's folklore, make sure to like this video and subscribe. I share new stories like this every week, true horrors, cursed legends, and the things that slip through the cracks of our world. And as always, be careful where the shadows take you. And on a serious note, if you or someone you know is struggling, you're not alone. I've left resources in the description below where you can find help, including the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Please take care of yourself.